I'll share the story of what's going on out of North Carolina. These people in North Carolina is beyond evil what they're doing to the low income and black communities. Now, you have hog farms, and these hog farms are taking pig urine and feces and just dumping it in the air around the black neighborhoods. Now, they're saying residents in North Carolina are fighting back against one of the state's most prominent industries, hog farming. But the legislation may not be on their side. A group of lawmakers in the state passed House Bill 467 last week, legislation that limits how much residents can collect in damages from hog farms. So hog farms in North Carolina dispose of pig feces and urine by spraying it, untreated, into the air where residents live. In response, nearly 500 of those residents, mostly African Americans from eastern North Carolina, brought a class action suit against Murphy Brown, the state's largest producer of hogs. The lawsuit has now made its way to federal court. Let's talk about that. You mean to tell me you're gathering pig urine and feces and just spraying it in the air in these communities? What genius came up with that idea? You couldn't take the urine and feces and incinerate it somewhere? You couldn't figure that out? I mean, why are you spraying it in the air? That is pollution all the way around. Where's the EPA to say something about that? You know, they're talking about clean air and stuff, but that's not clean air. That's not violating environmental laws, that you could just do this, and you targeting the black community. So you see that not only we have to deal with all the systematic racism that goes on in this country, we also have people doing environmental things to us as well, affecting the health of these people. But let's continue. So they said residents have said the process of waste disposal has caused health problems among those who live there. Not to mention the resulting smell limits their ability to be outside. The urine and feces produce chemicals like methane and ammonia, which smell like rotten eggs. Now, they said the people have been forced off their wells because they've been seeing remnants of waste in their well waters by the coloring and odors coming out of their well water. Now, I said residents report that they have immediate headaches, gagging, and health problems because of their smell as well. Now, this is the kicker here, and I'm going to show you the guy who's about to say this. They have a guy by the name of Representative Jimmy Dixon. He said, these claims are at best enormous exaggerations and at worst outright lies. He said they're lying, but he don't live there. Now, when I saw his name, Representative Jimmy Dixon, I said, let me actually look this guy up and see what party he's affiliated with. Let's put it on the screen. And as you would know, he is a Republican. That didn't really surprise me very much that he was a Republican. I was not surprised at all that he was a Republican for the statement that he made that is exaggerations and outright lies, but yet he didn't go out and research anything that was being said or reported. You see, these Republicans that's all over this country right now, they're against any person that's not white, period. And they don't like the white people who stand up against them either. So this is the guys that you have all over this country creating laws, trying to take away your health care, trying to do draconian immigration laws, doing all the things that they're doing now in hopes of saving the Caucasian majority in this country, but it's not going to work. But they're definitely going to try to save it. Now, if it's not that bad, then Jimmy Dixon, I want those hog farms to go to your neighborhood and start spraying that mess in your neighborhood. Then you tell me that it's not that bad. But you don't want them hog farms to go spray that mess in your neighborhood. It's okay to do it to the poor black people. That's fine, but as long as they don't do it to you. And this guy introduced this. A lot of people agree with this, and this is going to go to the governor of North Carolina. He's trying to stop people from suing and minimizing the damages that hog farms are paying because they are contaminating the air. You're contaminating their water supply when they are looking in their wells and they're seeing feces and it's changing colors. These people are some evil bastards. Evil. You wonder why the people always say they're evil. I mean, you can't tell me this is right. This is not even some human decency. This is why I tell y'all, Get yourself out there and register to vote. Black folks too. Get out there. This is why I tell y'all, everybody get registered to vote. Vote them Republicans out. They don't like you. They don't like me. Period. Unless you're like them, a Caucasian. They have this white supremacy in you. That's the only reason they like you. They don't like the white folks that disagree with them either. Vote them out. You can't sit around. These Republicans on a tirade. They want to take this country back to the 50s and 40s, and they're going to do anything they can to do it. But they want to oppress everybody. Black people. They want to oppress Hispanics. They want to oppress Arabs. They want to oppress anybody that's not them. And they showing you this. They're not making this stuff up. This guy got a nerve to say that they lying. Let's go. I hope the people get together and just start spraying pig urine in his neighborhood. And let's see how he like it. So on top of that, this is what they called, right, environmental racism. See, it's the things that we have to deal with constantly as black people. But, we making it up. We're exaggerating. It can't be that bad, but you don't want it to happen to you. It's just like that clip with Jane Elliott when she asked the Caucasian people the same things that happens to black people, do you want it to happen to you? Paraphrasing, of course. And nobody responded. Because they know good and well what they do to us is wrong. They don't want it to happen to them. But the thing is, life have a way of turning the circle around. And whatever you do to people, you get back, good or bad. And I would not want to be them that's doing that. And all the years they've been doing it, because they have a hell of a payday. And the payday is already started. I see it coming. It's already on the way. And they trying to fight against it, but they can't do nothing about it. Now, continuing. They saying HB 467, or the Agriculture or Forestry Nuisance Remedies Bill, was passed by both houses of the North Carolina legislature and on its way to be signed by the governor. Now, the governor is a Democrat. He was just sworn in January. So let's see if he vetoes that. You need to pay attention to that. The bill will prevent people from recovering damages like those for health care bills and pain and suffering. Many have urged the governor to veto the legislation. I can't stress this enough. All over this country, everybody needs to register to vote. Those Republicans in the Senate, those Republicans in the House, all these Republicans in the different states, these Republican governors, they all on one accord to be oppressive, to harm people that's not Caucasian, and they doing it every single day. They showing you what they're doing. Right here in Texas, they just passed a sanctuary city law where it makes any cop a immigration agent. And if a cop don't want to be an immigration agent, they can put criminal charges on him. But when they kill a black person, they don't get criminal charges. But if they don't check a Mexican's immigration status, then they may get some charges. Amazing, isn't it? But this is the things that's going on all over this country. You guys have to come out and vote. Don't be lazy. It don't take nothing to fill out a paper to register to vote. Bring your ID with you. Go over there and vote anybody but those Republicans out. I don't care if you do Green Party. I don't care if you do Democrat. I don't care if you do Independent. Anybody but Republican. Because these Republicans are on a warpath to harm people. That's what they're on. They showing it every single day. They didn't care about your health care. Even though that the health care bill they're trying to pass is going to kick 24 million people off of health care. And if you have a pre-existing condition, they say you can stay on there, but you're going to pay astronomically high. The insurance companies are going to win in that situation. They don't care about you. So you need to show them that it has to stop. So everybody needs to get involved, get registered to vote, and actually go out there and vote. And like, once again, that includes you black people, because black people in North Carolina should be writing down names of every person that voted for that bill and get their behind out there and vote in a block. Anybody but those guys. Get them out of there. Until you show them that you're going to start voting in blocks to get people out, they're going to continue doing what they're doing. These Republicans are oppressive to everybody. And they're showing it. It's not the Republicans. It's the freaking mainstream media that's harming people and being fake all day too. You don't have a friend anywhere. But it's time for the people to stand up against that. That stuff in North Carolina is wrong. These Republicans all over this country is wrong. They're not standing up for the right thing. You should have known that if they're a party for the Ku Klux Klan, they're a party for David Duke, they're a party for the alt-right, then obviously something is wrong, and they have no problem with them being there. Never speak up against them. But, you know. Make sure you check out our Teespring store and support the show by purchasing merchandise. Join us on Patreon for a minimum of $2 or $5 a month. Each level has its own perks. What you think about this? Because this situation here is just extremely upsetting. This is environmental racism. This is what we're talking about, what happens to us that doesn't get really reported in the news. Share the video, like the commentary, and subscribe for news stories.